Hello and welcome. This is Jasmine and Juniper, the podcast with me, Erin Fugate. I'm so happy to have you back on the show. You know that we've been changing things up here a little bit, and it's giving me so much energy and so much life to be talking about all the things that I find essential to life and business. And on the show, we have a very special guest. We have Jaya Rose. Jaya Rose is a coach, and she's actually the one who helped me get off my ass and start this podcast. So hello, Jaya.
Full circle.
So Jaya is a free-spirited, reggae-loving, I can't wait to hear your favorite reggae artist, hustle-free business coach. She helps impact-driven coaches and leaders share their message with the people who need it and buy from them without working overtime for their business. She believes that in this life, you can either follow the rules or create your own. She will help you pave your own path and create a coaching business with massive impact. Yes, yes, yes. I love that about you. You always give me permission to create my own rules, and it feels so good.
Yes, it is so important. The rules that are currently in place suck. Like, let's just be honest, right? Why do we follow them? To fit in?
And who made them
into
anyways?
what? Yeah.
Who's
to
in charge?
fit in with a society that, is only serving a few. No, thanks.
It's an exciting time. I feel like we are on the brink of so much change, and I cannot wait till the young people are in power. Gosh,
for real.
It's going to be real. It's going to get wild, but it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I feel like we got like 20 years, and maybe there'll be some shifts.
Yeah, it could be slow. Okay, so as the listeners know, we do icebreaker questions so we can get to know you a little bit. And the first one, I'm really excited to find out what your answer is. Okay. You have to go on stage and you need a hype song. What do you choose?
Oh, I mean, it's something reggae, and it's whatever reggae song I'm obsessed with currently. That I'm not like necessarily obsessed with a certain artist or for a long period of time, but it's like a week I have to play the same song over and over. So it would just be whatever one that week.
What is it right now?
Well, I'll have to find it on my, so let's keep going, and I'll find it and I'll play it into the mic a little bit for you. Cause I literally, it's like whatever's at the bottom of my playlist, I scroll to the bottom and listen to those 4 songs that I just added. It's a strategy.
I can't wait to hear it. I love Desiree. That is my favorite reggae artist.
Yeah. So Desiree, you'll have to send me her stuff.
I'll send it to you. I think you'll like it. Okay. Second question. Snack time. What's your favorite snack? I think you're gluten-free, like I try to be. So I love to hear about the gluten-free snacks, but you could also tell me your cheat snack, whatever you want.
Okay. I love this. I don't eat snacks. I mean, I don't have any problem with snacks. I think that's fine, but I like meals. If I'm hungry, I get agitated if I can't just have a meal. So I eat dinner at 5:00 because otherwise I get too hungry. I guess if I love chips. I get these crunchy corn chips from Trader Joe's, and these little like onion rings, but they're made out of lentils or something from Trader Joe's. Those are good. So I guess if I was going to snack, it would be at night while I was watching TV and I just want something crunchy.
I'm going to try those. I love the Trader Joe tips.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, a little more serious. You can have coffee or tea with anyone, alive or dead. Who would it be?
I'd have to just go with my grandma.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm sure there's some icons out there that would be super amazing, but also I would just love to sit with my grandma again.
Yeah, that's sweet. My grandma is 98 years old, and she keeps being like, I could go any day. So I'm trying to spend more time with her and hear her stories.
Totally. Yeah, it's powerful to have that time.
Yeah.
I just picked a song, and it's actually here. I'll just go with this one. It's Big Energy by Lotto, which y'all know what it is, but this is what I would walk on stage to right now.
Oh yeah, a good one.
Big dick energy.
Totally. That is a
why not? You know what I mean? That would be amazing.
Oh,
Okay.
love it. I love it. Okay. So when I think of you, I think of someone who is able to express big energy through
Mm,
video
yeah.
online. I first found you on Facebook, and it was right when you started on TikTok, and you've definitely gone to TikTok and made incredible things happen there. But tell us a little bit about how that has come into play in your business and why you're so good at it. How do we get good at video?
Oh, y'all are gonna love this answer. You have to be born with it. No, that's not the answer. You have to practice. Okay. I am good at video because I have been doing it almost every single day for 7 years, almost every day. So it's like, do something every day for 7 years, you're going to get good at it. There's a lot of intention within it as well. But I started doing video actually when I took my then fitness business online. I had a personal training and life coaching business for 12 years. And that was my bread and butter career before I came online. Also, what I pivoted online with. So I created a whole fitness brand for a year. It was called Booty, Mind, and Spirit. And it was a reflection of me, but I needed to shed. And it was like I was doing fitness because it was what I was good at. The criteria in which I set for myself to find that career was very limited to practical things. Like what I was good at, what I could learn quickly, what I could monetize, and what I could just feel like use my natural abilities within. And so when I did that, I ended up doing so many videos. I mean, hundreds of videos teaching fitness that I realized I really liked camera. And in fact, I realized that a lot of people didn't like it and that there was a huge niche in the online entrepreneur marketplace of people not using video enough. So I pivoted my whole business, left behind my 12-year fitness career and started teaching video. And that summer, live video came out on Facebook Live. And it was like, it was just a godsend because people didn't know how to use it. And I just quickly figured it out because I had the video skill. Like once you know how to turn on a camera and express yourself and feel comfortable, because that's that authenticity that people are looking for. I mean, you kind of do genuinely have to feel comfortable. And that's what takes practice. So I had that already, which does tend to impress people. Right. So I
Yeah.
had the ability to sell video in a really easy and authentic way. And I built my business to 6 figures that year. That was my first 6-figure year. I'd gone from making $30,000 a year as a personal trainer for 12 years. And then I made $150,000 that year teaching video. And I was like, oh, wow, I guess I can
Mhm.
do more than just, this small niche that I had put myself in for so long.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, why do you think, like I've watched this transformation happen as well? Because I brought my business online almost 14 years ago,
Okay.
when it was just posting pretty pictures on Instagram. What is this transformation to live video? Why is it more interesting? Why is it the new trend? I mean, you go on Instagram or
Yeah,
TikTok now, even Facebook, it's all about short form
totally.
video. Why? Do you
I
have
don't
any
think
idea?
it, yeah, I mean, I think it's business is why I think it's business why Instagram and Facebook are trying to be all video, because I don't think that's what the consumers actually want. So we could argue that partly it's because attention spans are shorter. You can, plus just the ability to get so much information so quickly and in an entertaining way. I mean, that's a dream, right? So just that it's really technology that has advanced, and then we have decided we like that advancement. I think that's the short, simple answer. But the reason that it's everywhere versus just say on an app like TikTok, where TikTok, that is what they do, right? It makes sense. You're like, it's a video sharing app. So obviously that is, they've created their own popularity for many reasons within that niche. Why does Facebook and Instagram do it and everyone's acting like video is everything? It's just because they're jealous and it worked for someone else. And they're like, oh, okay, so wait, do the pretty pictures not work? Or does the long form written content not work? And I don't think it's true. I think people on Facebook want written content. My videos don't do well on Facebook. Probably if I did Facebook Lives the way I used to, those would probably do well. But the short form content doesn't convert on Facebook the way it does on TikTok. And same for me on Instagram. Instagram has fully transformed into short form video. I don't personally like it. I would rather see someone's post. I really am liking the transition on Instagram actually to the written posts, like to the carousel slide with written information. That's pretty cool for my ADHD.
Yeah. Oh, this makes so much sense. It's true. On Facebook, it's the written posts. Like
Yes.
the people on Facebook actually want to read what you have to say or what you're up to. On Instagram, I save the carousel posts, especially when it's valuable information. I want to go back to it. You know what I use Instagram for a lot is sharing parenting advice to my husband. I will come across, like
yeah.
the carousel post, and I'll like send it to him. And we
3
do a
tips
lot of
for
parenting mentorship together, like personal development over on Instagram. And then TikTok is where I go to be mostly entertained.
Yep.
And then sometimes I find someone awesome over there. I just found a girl who does playlists on Spotify designed to help you be in a like.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, isn't she great?
So cute.
I love finding stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting lesson for us all as entrepreneurs to like stay in your lane.
Yes.
And use the app for what it's best for.
Absolutely.
If you were coaching someone and they wanted to take their business online, do you have an app that you think is the best place to start?
I would do TikTok. Yeah. I mean, just right now, it is the easiest place to grow. And it is a skill that is very transferable. If you can speak your message in 30 seconds in a compelling way to the people who need that message and translate that into sales, come on. You can, right? Like that is a very useful skill. You can translate that into writing website copy, to writing short posts, to writing the carousel posts. Like it's going to transfer. So I would just go with that hard skill and learn it and then leverage it.
So you kind of have to be willing. I mean, what you're saying earlier is the way you get good at it is practice. I'm sure there's some people who have an innate skill for video or public speaking.
I think so. Yeah.
What's the mindset that you recommend somebody gets into where they maybe are going to suck for a while?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just accepting that you are going to suck. In fact, I have a program called Magnetic on Camera, which sounds like a lofty goal, doesn't it? If you're not feeling confident, then you're going to go right to magnetic. But here's the thing is that you've got to start where you are, and that magnetism truly just means authentic. And that does not mean anything except being deeper within yourself and being comfortable with yourself. And or at the least being just accepting, right? Like just being neutral even would be helpful. So the first exercise I have people go through in that program is called Comfy on Camera. And it's an exercise that I did inadvertently when I was like, how old was I? 30. So 15 years ago, I started turning on the camera literally just because I needed to talk to somebody. I think I was going through my second divorce. I had an 11-year-old. I moved to a new city and I was building my personal training career in a brand new city where I knew no one. And I would literally turn on the camera and use it like a vlog. I didn't share it with anybody. I wasn't on social media. Maybe I had Facebook, but I didn't share it on Facebook. And I would just talk to the camera and then later I would watch it back. And so I didn't know that I was prepping myself, right, for this career with camera, but that exercise is so powerful. So I'll just give it to you right now. But ultimately what I have people do is talk to the camera with no intention of posting it for 5 minutes. Set it up like you're going to. So try not to have it wobbly. Give yourself the best shot you can to not be super critical of yourself. So you're going to set it up, speak to the camera, then watch it back. And I give people criteria of how to actually critique themselves, because here's where the problem is. If you do something that took courage and you criticize yourself for it, you are less likely to take courageous action again. Why can't the action be celebrated? Why does the output have to be what you measure the success by? And this is the fundamental mindset shift to, I mean, really just to growing an online brand and a business. Because if you can nail that, where you start to celebrate yourself just for taking the action, just for even thinking about taking the action, you're going to have a much different relationship with the outcome in general.
Oh yeah, I love that so much. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and a woman who is I guess she's like a abandonment expert was speaking, and she was talking about separating in our mind these three characters. One is the inner child who's like pure emotion. You can just think of them as pure emotion. And they would say, like, I'm scared to go on camera. Oh, it's too scary. And then there's the outer child who is like acts out. So the outer child would be like, well, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to not do it. And then there's the adult, and she said it was some part of our brain, cerebral cortex or something. And the adult is the one who makes the educated choice. And so she's like, have a conversation between your adult brain and your inner child, and make the outer child, or it's also called the inner teenager, kind of like the bad guy, like, oh, well, how does it make you feel when that outer child doesn't let us go on video? She kind of was like, yeah, create multiple personalities. But it was so transformational for me in my thinking to realize that there is this part of me that's scared. I'm scared to go on video and to show myself, because what if somebody doesn't like me or they say something mean to me? So then I sabotage and I don't make the video, I don't make the content. And that's not actually moving my business forward. I'm curious how you work with that fear of being seen. Or I hear from a lot of people, TikTok is scary because you're probably going to get haters.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It's almost like, I think there's this is just probably some like basic personal development that is archaic, but it's like the idea that you want to think of the worst case scenario, and then that helps you kind of do it anyway. And I do think that is helpful, because I won't say that you will, but you may experience what people would call a troll or a hater. And what I have found is that is really the least of my worries. The thing, when somebody says something stupid, and I will say that people don't talk about my looks. I do think there are other accounts where that happens, and that probably is really hurtful. I don't have that type of account, or just that's not what I've experienced. I experience more people questioning my ideology and the way that I think. And honestly, that is more troublesome to me than if someone was like, told me that I was fat. I don't know. I'd probably be like, oh, that's just stupid. You know what I mean? The thing about people being critical of you online is that if you can heal those parts of you, like, I'm okay with the fat that's on my body. If you tell me that you see it, that's just kind of doesn't matter, right? I'm not to say it wouldn't trigger me, but can I just work through it pretty quickly? Yes. When you are showing up and sharing your ideologies and teaching, my biggest fear is that I'm going to do something harmful. Honestly, that's way more top of mind than is somebody going to think I look stupid or say something silly to me, because those people are not going to help you grow your business. Those people are not going to work with you. You literally hover over their name and block them. It's over in 2 seconds. It is very, very small. To me, the bigger concerns as a white woman who delves into spirituality, who's in the success arena, I fear being harmful, not being inclusive, using language that's ableist, using language that is actually just coming from a place of privilege, because that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I think too, it's what I'm afraid of, but it's also what I'm here for.
Right.
And that's maybe the attitude we need to have of, hopefully my community will hold me accountable, and hopefully I will be open enough to have it be a learning. I remember maybe last year you had something happen where both you and I have referred to ourselves as highly sensitive people.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a moment where someone was like, oh, that's actually ableist?
Yes. Yeah.
And
And it wasn't
things
to
like that are
me.
interesting.
I learned that through watching other people. Someone wasn't calling me out, although I was using the term HSP a lot, and I don't use that term anymore because I have learned that, I mean, I do think there is a highly sensitive person profile, but I do think that a lot of the people who experience those things are on the spectrum of autism.
Mhm. I think this is what's so cool about TikTok. And I love that we're going here. I love this about the podcast because you never know where we're going to go. But I feel like TikTok, if you're willing to show up and learn from it, it's one of the few places online where people are going to I like to say, call you in. Instead of call you out, it's like they're going to call you in, and you have an opportunity to help the whole world grow, because
That's
we're
true.
finally being honest with one another and saying like, hey, when you do that, you're actually doing this.
Yeah.
But it's scary. It's so scary to put yourself out there and be like in it. You're not up on a pedestal protected from everybody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're in community, and you have to be willing to look at your stuff.
You do. And if you get, so I did get really called out from a video that I can see why they did it. And also they took it wrong. Like, honestly, it's not, I agreed with them. So I had a video where I just popped on and I didn't give context specifically and say, if you're an entrepreneur. And I think that would have changed it. I just blankly said something to the effect of, if you want to have a new reality, if you're going for something that you haven't experienced before, you've got to be willing to write a new chapter and not let the old chapters influence what you're going to do. Like it, and I said it better than that, but it was like, it was kind of like a truth bomb. And of course it went kind of big because people love that kind of stuff. And it is freaking true. If you want to experience something new, if I wanted to experience going from making $30,000 a year to that first year making 150,000, I could not use my past experience as evidence as to what was possible. I couldn't. I had to shift that. And so there is truth in that. But then this guy who in general creates friction-based content. So he takes people who he doesn't agree with, and then he uses it to make himself a platform of being right. And I mean, I truly think what he did was problematic, because he took mine totally out of context, just saying, ignore your past. Basically, it's just like gaslighting people with trauma. Right? It's like, there is a way to say that. And there are times and places and people that you would never say that to. You would not say, just stop thinking about your past and create something new. That would be so terrible. And he put me in that position because his audience is filled with trauma and trauma survivors. And he basically triggered all of them, which is crazy to me, because he took the one clip that sounded what would be harmful for them, played it for them, and then aired out why it was harmful. And then they all came to my posts and were like, it wasn't a call in. It was abusive. Like, you're this, you're that, you don't understand, you're toxic positive, and no, like, what did you mean when you said that? Because I literally agreed with what he said. When he added nuance to my message, I was like, absolutely. But there's no space for that when you're just getting called out. I actually just deleted the video because he, ironically enough, doesn't leave option for you to stitch or duet his video and respond. So I couldn't respond and actually add the nuance or say, totally agree. I should have added, when you're growing an online business, right? Like that would have helped it. And so stuff like that will happen. And it was a good lesson for me to just go, okay, sometimes I'm going to be completely misunderstood.
Sometimes we will be completely misunderstood.
And I'm okay. And I deleted the video. You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't worth it to me to fight over it. And if I did do something that was harmful and someone who I truly respected the way that they were able to handle it, and obviously he was doing it for gain for himself, that's a different thing. But if someone was doing it because they genuinely felt I was being harmful, I would apologize and listen and grow.
Yeah. And I've had
and
that
then move
happen
on.
before. I think that's a great framework for people who are starting to put themselves out there. Is you can always block, you can always delete, but
Yeah.
if there's truth to it, maybe take it to a private message and
Yep.
work it out.
Or even do a video. If what I had done was harmful, I would make a video and say, that is harmful. And when you speak out, because, I'm an activist and I do speak out. And as a white woman, there are just a lot of ways that I could be doing that wrong. A lot of places are not, a lot of things are not the thing that I should be talking about. And so I try so hard to like really stay in my lane and then add nuance. Like, for example, you saw that video that I just put out about that event that Russell Brunson is putting on.
Yeah.
And it's like 30, I do in air quotes, leaders, like the industry leaders. And they're all white except 2 Black men. And one man, Ty Lopez, I think he might be a Mexican man. So one brown man, and all white women. I hate it. Like, I just look at that. I'm like, I hate it here. Like, how is this? This is not a representation of our world and what should be considered successful. And so calling that out, I'm just like, it's such an open wound, And then I start looking at, and I'm very biased the way that I see it, where I'm like, I have a lot of Black women who I respect and I listen to and I learn from. So my automatic thing is like, I want to see Black women up there. But then there's a whole community of Asian women, of fat people, of people who are disabled, who are not represented either. So when you start talking about representation, it's like, then you have to actually be inclusive. So I did that. And then I even, it's like, I'm second guessing myself because I put in there, I don't see anyone who's disabled. And then it's like, well, there's lots of invisible disabilities too. Right. So I just took it out because I thought someone might call me out for that. And I put it in the caption and I said, or in the, in the comments, and just said, I don't know this for sure. There doesn't seem to be, there's no out, I don't see anybody who looks disabled. Just wanted to mention that. So it's like just being careful and not assuming that I think it's really a good way to go.
You have to do the work. Yeah. So I'm taking my presence onto TikTok and whatever I'm selling, let's pretend that I'm selling placemats.
Oh my God. Okay.
I actually know a woman who has this incredible product, and it's their placemats that have conversation starters on them for your kids.
Cute.
And it's like an anti-suicide technique. She's like, let's get the kids talking at the dinner table. So that's why it came to mind.
It's so cute. I love it.
I'll put her link in the show notes. So, I'm this business owner that goes, okay, I'm going to take it to TikTok. I'm going to start making videos. What do I make videos about? Because do I make them about, I think of Vanna White, like, here's my product and here's what it does. And it's like, oh, I don't know if that's really going to work.
Right.
And then there's just following the trends and dancing around and lip syncing. But I know that that's not totally going to work. So what do you do? What do I go? What does my content become?
Yeah. I mean, it's about identifying what your personal brand is about and so there's multiple facets within your personal brand, but what is your mission? How do you want people to feel? What do you want them to get out of being in contact with your brand, and identifying all those things? So I think having a strong brand foundation is really helpful, because otherwise it's easy to go right from, okay, I have this business. How do I start expressing it visually or verbally? And the answer really is within the foundations of your brand. So I think the questions need to be filtered through some of that brand work. And so there are lots of people who do that. That's something I help my clients with. There's lots of people who know how to help people with a brand. I recommend hiring somebody, honestly. If you are going straight from, I have a business, I want to take it online, I want to be visible with it, and I don't even have any idea what content to make, it's really truly just because you're missing that brand piece.
Oh, that's
Once
great.
you have that piece, then you're always looking at it through the lens of, I want to bring people into the experience of the outcome. So whether you're
Mm.
talking about the outcome, what is the outcome of having connection on the placemat? What is the outcome for that family, right? So then you're thinking about, well, video content of people talking and laughing, that would be the outcome. So that's what I would focus the content on.
Yeah, that's great. So in your magnetic on camera, do you teach how to write your content and figure that out? Or is that a different program that you offer?
Yeah, I mean, the magnetic on camera is most helpful for people who do know their brand values and like understand a bit about social media. And it is more for people who have a service-based business. So they're talking about the outcome of what they do with clients. So I wouldn't say that I'm sure I could help people who have a product, but it's not my area of genius. It's
You
much
focus
more
on coaches.
coaches and service providers. Yeah. And so it's more about taking the bigger message and condensing it into short, bite-sized value pieces. And that's what I teach in there.
Okay, so this is one of my last questions. I come across people who they have their brand, they're on social media, but they're afraid. It's like they're afraid to put their real selves out there. Maybe they're
Yeah.
kind of like not showing their face as much, or it's not that they're not telling their story, but you can almost feel that it's surface level.
Yeah.
And so what is your advice, your recommendation for someone who is trying to get their brand out on social media, but they're having a hard time really bringing themselves to the picture?
Yeah. I think identifying why is going to be really helpful. So sometimes there could be really trauma around being seen. And I think that that's a really great question to ask yourself is like, what is my relationship with wanting attention, with getting attention, and with allowing myself to want, like to have the desire to be seen. And I think a lot of us have stories and evidence to show us that there is no safety in that. There is no safety in wanting to be seen and wanting to get attention. I mean, even in seemingly regulated / healthy families, they tell their kids to stop wanting attention. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it is so challenging. Kids want so much attention, but I do think, it's a great place to look at as an adult. How comfortable are you receiving attention? Because, and the reason I keep sort of like nailing on that is because that is what you're doing. You have to get and keep attention in 3 seconds on a video. And that's the freebie that I'm giving you all is 12 hooks that get you booked. And it's how to prompt creating a hook that, what does it do? Gets you attention. So if you're fundamentally uncomfortable with that, unhealed around that, unregulated around that, that is going to be a sticking point for you and also an opportunity. An
I
opportunity for
love that.
healing, right? But
Mhm.
healing is going to happen when we are confronted with something we want that's new and it causes a contradiction to what we believe is true. And so, whatever process you have around that, that's the point to focus on.
Yes. So last week we had a subconscious healer on the podcast, and it's making me think of the ways that we want something. Maybe we want 6 figures in our coaching business, or we want, to explode on TikTok. But then that might not be what we actually want.
Yeah.
And so like doing that deeper work. And then if what you actually want butts up with a fear,
Yeah.
or a subconscious programmed belief, that's going to be such a sticking point. That's why I love on this show, we talk about business and we talk about healing, because I don't know if you can be super successful in the online business world if you're not also willing to heal your trauma, and heal your subconscious and move forward with that. So I just love that inquiry. Like, I'm showing up online to get attention. That's what I want, is your attention. Maybe I want you to buy my product or book me as your coach, but how do I feel about getting attention? And I know that's something I've really worked through, is like the fear of outshining. That was a big one for me. The fear of like somebody else is going to lose out.
Yes.
Because I'm brighter.
Oh, I was just talking about that yesterday. Totally huge one.
It's huge. So, I mean, what I'm hearing is if you approach this getting on camera, becoming magnetic on camera, kind of as a journey of personal development, and you're willing to not be perfect at it, and you're willing to be seen, and you're willing to do like the healing work, that's where the gift is. And you don't have any idea where that's actually going to take you.
It's so true. I like to say that doing video for your business, it is a healing journey, and the value that you will embody from putting yourself on video and deciding that what you're saying is valuable is the value that you need to embody for that higher income. Like it is the same. When I watch my videos and I decide that watch them, meaning like edit them and cut out little words and decide that what I said was valuable and needed, like immediately I feel validated within my work. Like I value my work. And I think that that is just so powerful. The confidence that you get, even if you just did the comfy on camera section, the confidence that you get from that is the confidence that you need to receive more of what you want.
Yeah. Beautiful. So you told us that you have a free gift, and it's the 12 video hooks that get you booked.
Yep.
And then your course is magnetic on camera.
Yep.
Are there any other ways that people can connect with you, or that you would recommend people find you?
Yeah. I mean, follow me on TikTok. If you're interested in using it, I think it is really good to just follow people who are doing it in ways that you like. And if you like how I'm doing it, do it. Do it that way. And then I am a coach as well. I kind of have two facets of my business now. And I think it's different than when I was working with you. I've taken the last 4 or 5 months and really changed the foundation of my business, where I have education and coaching. So I have those education pieces, which are more accessible, home learning, like that is magnetic on camera is within that. I also have a go-to coach program where it really teaches the brand foundation, messaging, niching, how to do visibility, like kind of that question you asked about how to do visibility that's in alignment with what you're selling, those pieces. And then I also do coaching. I have a small group mastermind called Bold Moves, and then one-on-one customizable coaching. So those are the ways.
Yes, definitely go follow Jaya on TikTok. It's always a good time over there, and all her offers will be in the show notes so that you can get connected. And I just really appreciate spending time with you today and jamming out on all this good stuff.
You too. So good to see you. Thank you, everyone.
And for everyone listening, if you thought of someone that needs to hear this message, please take a screenshot, share it with them. You can tag me and Jaya over on Instagram. We'd love to see you in our DMs and let us know what you thought about the show. And of course, please give it a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. I would appreciate it so much. Have a great day, everybody, and talk to you next time.